If we provide more support for the Peshmerga, how will that impact on Turkey, considering that Turkey is a NATO ally?
Yeah, I think Turkey is one of these divided societies. I think Erdogan has helped make it very divided. He doesn't know whether Turkey should be Kemalist, that is, interested in joining Western systems, or should be somehow neo-Ottomanist, that is, interested in dominating their near abroad. I think the Turkish people are very uncomfortable with this sort of notion that Turkey needs to be up to its neck in regional issues. I think Turkish people are very uncomfortable about that. But I would add to you that I think the Arabs are uncomfortable with the notion that as they go through hideous problems, and that is an adequate description, I think, of what's going on in the Middle East, they kind of feel that the Turks are kind of butting in and trying to take advantage of it to show their leadership. You know, clearly Egypt, which was always the adult leadership in this, they're clearly on the sidelines for the time being. And the perception among many Arabs is that Turks are kind of meddling in it. So I think the Turks, you know, like a lot of things in life, you need to respect the history. And the history of Ottomanism in the Middle East is not a very good history. And so I think the Turks need to tread a little carefully there. I think the Turks ought to take a deep breath, and by Turks I mean President Erdogan. I think they need to take a deep breath and consider what it means to be a NATO ally. And if they want to kind of go off on their own all the time, look, there's some things you're going to be on your own because you have national interests. Lord knows it's not for Americans to criticize someone else's exceptionalism. But Turkey needs to kind of think that through a little, because at this point I have trouble defining them as a NATO ally. So whether this problem was set in motion because the Europeans didn't accept Turkey into the European Union and they got traumatized by it, who knows? It doesn't really matter. I think Turkey does need to kind of develop some consensus politics. And you know, some of these people, they learn the first lesson of democracy, which is majority rule, but the second lesson of democracy is working through, you know, making sure the minorities are attended to. And, you know, when you look at, you know, for all the accolades of, on Nelson Mandela, I mean, the greatest thing about him was, of course, his understanding that when you have your minority and they're used to being in charge, albeit by brute force, you still need to reach out to them. I mean, I always wonder if Nouri al-Maliki had woken up as Nelson Mandela, you know, maybe it could have been better there. But I think the real problem in these divided societies is Sunni-Shia divide, which, you know, it's been around 1,300 years, but it's often been in remission for long periods of time. Now it's out there, and now it requires all countries to be prudent about it. And I think the Turks need to stop looking like they're acting as Sunni Arabs to curry favor with Sunni Arabs who will never accept them anyway because they're not Arabs.